In the days of old, when the earth was filled with the doings of men and the heavens beheld their ways, there were two cities set in the plain of Jordan, Sodom and Gomorrah. They were as gardens in the land, rich with the increase of the field, and their inhabitants waxed mighty in wealth and trade. Yet in their hearts they turned from the ways of righteousness, forsaking the commandments of the Most High. Their thoughts were ever on evil, and their deeds an abomination before the Lord. The blood of the innocent cried out, and the heavens grew heavy with their transgressions. For their sins had reached unto the throne of the Almighty. And the Lord God, who is full of mercy yet just in judgment, said in his holy counsel, I will go down and see if the cry which hath reached my ears is altogether according to their wickedness. And he sent forth his messengers, the holy angels, to walk among the people and to behold their doings, clothed in celestial light, yet veiled that mortal eyes might not discern their true nature. They descended unto the earth to bear witness to the works of men. But before their coming, the Lord appeared unto his servant Abraham as he sat in the door of his tent in the plains of Mamre. And 3 men stood before him, and he ran to meet them, bowing himself to the ground. And Abraham, knowing the ways of the Lord, entreated them with great hospitality. Then one of the 3, who was the Lord himself in divine form, spoke unto Abraham and said, Shall I hide from my servant that which I purpose to do? And he declared unto him the fate of Sodom and Gomorrah, for their sins were very grievous. Then Abraham, the friend of God, was troubled in his heart and spoke with boldness, saying, Wilt thou indeed destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou not spare the place for their sakes? And the Lord, full of grace, said, If I find 50 righteous within the city, I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham, emboldened by mercy, pleaded further, until the Lord declared that if even 10 righteous were found, he would withhold his hand. But the wickedness of Sodom was great, and the righteous were few. So the 2 angels departed unto Sodom, while Abraham stood yet before the Lord, watching as they went forth upon their errand of judgment. The heavens held their breath, for the hour of reckoning was near. As the sun did set upon the city of Sodom, and the shadows of dusk crept over its streets, the 2 angels came unto its gates. There sat Lot, the nephew of Abraham, a man who feared the Lord, yet dwelt among a people who knew him not. And when Lot beheld the strangers, he rose and bowed himself to the ground, saying, Turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night. Wash your feet, and ye shall rise early and go on your way. But the angels said, Nay, we will abide in the street all night. Yet Lot, knowing the wickedness of the city, pressed upon them greatly, and they turned aside and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But ere they laid down to rest, the men of Sodom, both young and old, compassed the house round about, from every quarter of the city. And they cried unto Lot with voices full of iniquity, saying, Bring forth the men which came unto thee this night, that we may know them. Then Lot went out unto them, shutting the door behind him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. But they mocked him, saying, This man came in to sojourn, and now he would judge us. And they pressed sore against the door, seeking to break it. Then the angels put forth their hands and pulled Lot into the house, and smote the men with blindness, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. The hour of mercy was past, and the decree of the Lord was set. And the angels turned to Lot and said, Hast thou here any besides? Sons-in-law, sons, daughters, whosoever is thine in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this city, because the cry of them is waxen great before the Lord, and he hath sent us to consume it. And Lot went forth to his sons-in-law, saying, Up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city. But they laughed him to scorn, for their hearts were hardened and their eyes blind to truth. And as the morning light began to break upon the horizon, the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy daughters, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And still he lingered, but in mercy the angels took hold of his hand, and the hands of his wife and daughters, and led them forth, setting them without the city. Then they gave the solemn command, Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Flee to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And it came to pass, when the sun had risen upon the earth, that Lot and his family fled towards Zoar, the city of refuge. And the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from out of heaven. The wrath of God was kindled, and the earth trembled beneath the weight of his judgment. The cities and all the plain, the inhabitants and all that grew upon the ground, were utterly consumed in the fire of divine retribution. And the smoke of the cities rose as the smoke of a great furnace, and none who dwelt therein escaped, save Lot and his daughters. But as they fled, Lot's wife, whose heart longed for the city she had left behind, turned back to gaze upon its ruin. And in that instant she was turned into a pillar of salt, a sign and a warning to all who would set their hearts upon the ways of the wicked. Abraham rose early in the morning and looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah. And lo, the land which had once been as the garden of the Lord was now desolation. He beheld the smoke ascending to the heavens, and his heart was heavy, for not even 10 righteous had been found within. Thus the judgment of the Lord was fulfilled, and the name of Sodom and Gomorrah became a byword for wickedness and divine wrath. And unto this day their ruin stands as a testimony that the Lord is holy, and his judgments are true and righteous altogether. Verily, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah was not without purpose, for the hand of the Almighty moveth ever in wisdom. The tale of these cities is written upon the pages of time as a warning to the nations, that none should set their hearts upon iniquity, nor make their habitation among the wicked. For the Lord is slow to anger and full of mercy, yet his justice shall not sleep forever. And Lot, having escaped the fire, found himself dwelling in the mountains with his daughters. Fearful to return to the cities of men, he abode in a cave, and there a new trial arose. His daughters, seeing no man left to give them children, did conceive a wicked plan, and through deceit they caused their father to drink wine and lay with them. Thus were born the children of Moab and Ammon, whose descendants became a thorn unto Israel. Even in deliverance, the seeds of error may take root if the heart is not steadfast in righteousness.